IVM.
Hello, welcome to Football Total. Yes, someone, is it coming home?
Yes, it is. It's coming home, lads.
Tanush Baru, is the home at Rome?
Mamma mia!
Really? Why are you talking about the Swedes suddenly?
It's not coming home. I am home. I'm the special.
What are you saying, man?
Did you see Mourinho try to improve lighting in the
No,
AS
no.
press
I
conference?
saw the press conference. Okay, let's start with the deviation. Mourinho's first press conference as a AS Roma manager. It was not the lighting. So when the guy was asking a question, the wind was so much and it was just making noise. He gets up and then he tears down the thing. And then the fellow who was supposed to ask the question, he starts clapping "Thank you, sir. Thank you for doing this for me." So yeah, but the thing about that press conference, Yash, is that in between questions they were just showing photos and videos of Rome through an aerial view. Man, I've been to that city, but dude, that is just ruins. That whole city is just ruins.
Awesome.
All right, let's talk about Euros. Yes.
Yo.
And since you're talking about Mourinho said England deserved to win, but that was not a penalty. I believe the referee is not going to get a good night's sleep today. So is he true in his assessment?
I don't know, man. I mean, people are saying that there was contact. Some people are saying that he went down too easy. Some people are saying there should have been a penalty before this one when Kane was fouled. But I mean, looking at the penalties that were given in the football that we have seen for the past couple of years, it didn't. I mean, this is not that controversial, a penalty. It's just it happened in an important game.
You really like Gareth Southgate, don't you?
No, dude. Southgate must be the only person in this setup.
If Sergio Busquets had won this penalty, right? I don't think you would have said the same thing that you just did.
Yeah, but then again, I'm not a big fan of Sterling, right? I mean, he played for Liverpool and Man City, so it's nothing personal. It's a team based thing, and fair enough. I mean, I don't think the result was that unfair.
What about that first goal, Baru? What was that shot?
So apparently there was a lot of chal kapat involved in that. With the offensive wall moving to block
Pickford's view.
Yeah, so what is the chal kapat in it?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a clear sight of it. No, apparently if he did, he could have moved and pulled off a Superman save.
Dude, it's Pickford. We know he doesn't do such things but actually having said that, he's had a good tournament. But what is a chal kapat? Or are you just using cool phrases?
No, they are blocking the vision of the keeper, right? So that's not fair play, so to speak.
Huh?
What?
What? Are you just creating this stuff as you speak now?
Yeah. How is it fair? You're talking methods to gain an advantage.
Are you watching the final with us on Sunday?
I'll think about it.
We'll see who's doing chal kapat on the field at every free kick. Given that English people are now so scared, yes, of the Italian gamesmanship, as they call it.
Right. No, but Italy haven't done much gamesmanship this tournament, man. They've been playing very good football. So they should be worried about the free-flowing football that comes through Insigne and Chiesa rather than all this chal kapat nonsense.
Oh, and if there was actually any chal kapat, Baru, that is some guy pointing a laser with precision on Kasper Schmeichel's eyes while Harry Kane was taking the penalty.
That guy must have had such stable hands, man. I mean, if you just think about it, sitting in the stands really far away and managing to control the laser just enough to stabilize around his eyes.
Yeah, that's crazy. He must be a really good sportsman in some field.
Or a
I saw this Anil Kapoor movie where they asked him, "आपके hands इतने steady क्यों हैं?" मैं brain surgeon हूँ. अगर मैं हड्डियों का सर्जन होता तो मैं कुछ भी कर देता था. But brain surgery requires precision.
Wow.
What movie is it? 1, 2, or 4?
No, I don't think so.
Anyway,
Yeah, let's move on. Our favorite team, the team which the three of us collectively like to hate, Spain, played really well and
Yeah.
lost to Italy. Oh God, it is so satisfying to see like the teams you don't like play so well and just like lose it. Yes, were you jumping up and down when the whole penalty shootout happened?
I could
Yeah.
hear just games from Matunga till here. He's
So,
like, or karna 100% passing, or karna.
yeah, it was. But actually, the game was. I mean, the starting of the game was very. It was very worrying for every person who was supporting Italy because throughout the tournament they have absolutely blown teams away. But this time, I mean, there was something different about the Spanish team, right? I mean, if you saw Spain play, it was very clear that there was always an extra man there for the pass, and I think it's all down to the genius, the vision of this one player who's always made Spain and Barcelona take it. And I'm obviously talking about Sergio. No, I'm not. It's actually the manager, Luis Enrique. I think not playing a striker was a difference because there was always an extra man in midfield and pushing up the fullbacks. There were like 8 players always there in Italy's half. So passing was good, but I mean somehow Italy held on, man, till the second half. I think Mancini must have had another round of the Italian national anthem in the dressing room at halftime, which roused them to give a better performance.
Oh man, but that was so scary. Didn't you notice this also? That Spain actually, as the tournament progressed, they've actually started playing well.
Yeah, I guess this is tournament football, right? I mean, they possibly. I mean, if I remember correctly, even in the World Cup, this happened. Like they lost against Switzerland in 2010, and
Hmm.
as the tournament went on, they got better. So
Yeah,
possibly
uh,
there's
in,
some
in
institutional memory
but
there
in
with the management team of
2010 they were still like boring the world to death and winning 1-0. So this
yeah.
was like Alvaro Morata in like kick-ass form.
Oh, dude, Alvaro Morata is another. Like we should spend some time talking about Alvaro Morata.
All right, before we spend time talking about Alvaro Morata, let's ask Baru the most important question. The main reason for Spain's loss is Penaldo.
Dude.
And the reason why he's the main reason is because at Juventus, he takes all the penalties and doesn't give anyone a chance, which includes Alvaro Morata. So is Penaldo to blame for Spain's exit at the World Cup? This question is courtesy ESPN. So, Baru, why don't you take a shot at this?
Wow, I mean, we've always known that Ronaldo was selfish for the teams he played for, but turns out it has far-reaching effects on
Consequences.
football. Just like the act of taking. But it sounds like a very sound argument.
It is,
Uh,
right?
yeah, it's extremely sound. So I'll just blame Ronaldo for that.
Yes, is that the reason why Alvaro Morata, who can play beautiful 1-2s and score like a really good goal, just takes such a bad penalty?
No, dude. I mean, Morata has become such a big personality that I mean, he's not a satellite of Ronaldo anymore. He's like a planet on to himself,
Oh
he's
wow.
like
right?
he's like
So
Tatooine.
yeah. So he cannot. I don't think Penaldo is affecting him that much. I think not as much as Penaldo affects his own teammates in Portugal, because Morata has such a big presence in the internet sphere. But there's so much debate. There's so much gravitas to his play that I think the drama was enough for him to score a goal and miss a penalty.
Have you been watching the scientific astrologer looking at the metaphors that you're using? Because there's a guy who apparently predicted the past 4 FIFA tournaments or something.
Oh man.
And he believes that a captain who was born in the year between the years 90 to 93 is going to win this one. So that leaves us with Harry Kane.
Who is Italy's captain?
Cellini, no?
Oh god, that guy's like 61.
Rene's son set back in 1998. That is when he should have won the World Cup.
Oh, before the penalty shootout, talking about the Spain versus Italy game, what was Chiellini doing with Jordi Alba? Like, Baru, what was that?
A lot of I think captions that came around that video was like, "This is the Punjabi drunk uncle at every." Okay, kaisa hai? He was such a happy character, man.
Dude, so there are two explanations to this, right? One explanation was one explanation was generally a Roy Keane type explanation. The minute Chiellini did that, I mean, Italy had already won the shootout, right? And the second group of explanation was the Mourinho kind of explanation. They asked him, "Why do you think Chiellini was like?" He's like, "He doesn't have to take the penalty. he's just around. He has nothing to do. He's like number 10 in penalty list. So why does he care?" So yes, towards what argument would you like?
I don't know, man. Like everything, there's something down in the middle. I mean, clearly there was some mind games there.
Something
And
down in
Chiellini,
like Spain will miss 2 penalties.
yeah, I mean, some of the explanations are brilliant, right? Like this is how animals, assert their dominance on other prides. Like you take out their main whatever. If you dominate their alpha, their pride becomes your pride.
When did
And shit,
Jordi Alba become their alpha?
since Enrique did the right decision of taking the great Sergio Busquets off after that epic penalty in the last shootout. So yeah, so I mean, people were saying that when you see your opposite team's captain practically lift your captain up jovially and not care, then that's some mind games.
So yeah, this does, it's seen in Punjabi weddings also. There's this thing called Milni. So it's always like, the counterparts of each family meet. Like the uncle meets the uncle, the dada meets the dada. And it's always like one guy trying to lift the other to show dominance.
What? Really?
Something that is exactly what happened.
Dude,
Cheleni was
wait, I had that at my wedding. They just exchanged clothes. No one lifted each other.
But I like this metaphor that Yash has brought in, especially with the Copa America penalties.
Yeah. So while Baru is
That
coughing,
was definitely more tribal than what Cheleni was.
yeah. So yes, did you see that whole penalty shootout
Yeah,
between?
I didn't see the whole penalty shootout, but I saw the penalty.
So, first of all, Messi basically needs Emi Martinez. Otherwise, he's nothing, right? So the real man, the real game changer in the team is Emi Martinez.
Yeah.
But after
Hey,
Yerry,
by the way, who knew that Messi and Arteta are basically the same?
what do you mean?
So Arteta needed Emi Martinez to win the cup, no?
Oh God! Okay, let's not divert. But did you see after Yerry Mina missed his penalty?
Yeah.
Messi is such a docile Barcelona boy who just wants his money, becomes an animal, as you call it, in South America.
Yeah, that was fun to see, but then again, I mean, he was doing all that after Yerry Mina missed the penalty kick. So
Yeah, but for the penalty kick, Martinez was at it, right?
so Martinez was top class. That was top class. There was
Dude,
some shit out.
that was some high level sledging, man. That was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think goalkeepers learn to use this skill from maybe Martinez. I mean, what's the worst can happen? He's gonna score. He has a 70% chance of scoring anyway.
Yeah. Oh, whatever happened to that ABBA system of penalty scoring? Because the team which starts scoring first generally is going to win the penalty shootout. So,
but that was anyway experimental, right? I don't think they expect footballers to understand this.
like gimme.
What happened to hockey style penalty shootout, man?
Yeah, that solo runs from the end of the stadium. It's just so annoying. I don't even know why they do that. Why can't
And
they?
they have actual penalties also.
Yeah, that's penalty stroke, right?
Yeah, like stroke or shot and corner. There's so many penalties, man.
Hockey is a weird game. If Dhyanchan was alive today, he wouldn't have been able to play it. So whatever. Let's talk about the Ballon d'Or winner, the man with the supreme penalty, and the genius that is Jorginho. Oh my God! Even Unai Simon was clapping for his penalty while it was going in. Right? That is some skill, Yash.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't hear that, Baru.
I said J Mane genius.
But you know how a lot of these England players coming into this tournament have a redemption arc going back maybe a year and a half. In Italy, I think Jorginho is only one in that redemption arc. Or probably we watch too much Premier League football, so we are reading too much into it.
What redemption arc does
Yeah,
Jorginho have?
so Luke Shaw had the whole Mourinho experience. Then he's become Roberto Carlos now.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire, had a fight with the Greek police and shit like that. Now he's here. John Stones' career got resurrected.
Yeah, actually, England has a good.
Sterling had a bad year, but now he's like the whole and soul attack option that Southgate uses.
Southgate himself has a story that
he missed that penalty in
But
96.
Southgate's story took like 24 years to find redemption arc in it.
Yeah. So similarly, I was saying Jorginho went from being like the most hated player in Chelsea by, I think, the Blood and Thunder Premier League fans, and now everyone's like, oh, Ballon d'Or.
Oh yeah, but that Ballon d'Or noise is coming from Italy. I don't think any Chelsea Chelsea fans are so fickle. They don't want to give it to their own player. They're like, why should Jorginho get it? But yeah, if Jorginho gets it, then if England win and Mount scores the goal in the final, he should become the Ballon d'Or. So, Baru, do you buy that argument?
Yeah, I just think that Kante should get it anyway, man. I mean, he's the only player in the world of football who I don't mind winning another trophy.
Oh, like that.
If Kante wins it, he'll forget the trophy on the table and go, I have to take it or what?
He'll forget it on the train while going to Paris.
Or he'll melt it or something and give it to the rest of the team. He's like, it's not my job. You guys help me.
Yeah, then they'll chant his name and make him lift the trophy. Okay, I think we should take a break right now. After the break, let's just... Is there a third and fourth place match for Euros?
No.
Oh, thank God for that. All right, let's talk about the final after the break. Stay tuned to Football Total.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IBM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IBM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank the sponsors on the network this week, Seat, Cred, and Global Victoria. We thank you so much for making all of this possible. So this week on Cyrus Says, Tapsi Pannu was recently featured in the Netflix original Haseen Dilruba was on. They discussed her experiences in Bollywood and a whole lot more. On Begin the Journey, Ashish Vidyarthi enlightens us with his wisdom on how one can get freedom from their own thoughts or insecurities when they communicate with others. On The Millennial Athlete, Tanvi and Shlok fill us in on all the drama from the world of sports with Wimbledon, Euros, and World Test cricket making headlines every day. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav Mamoria kicks off a new series, Beneath the Veneer. We travel to the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, where he takes us through his first experience of encountering the Red Sea. We have a brand new show, Misconduct. It's a true crime show hosted by Ragvi, a lawyer, and Nisha, a PR pro. They tell us about the story of Cyanide Malika, the lady who offered cyanide-laden sweets to women and after they died, loot their gold. On the Global Victoria Tech Talks podcast, we showcase some compelling new tech stories coming out of Melbourne. On one episode, Pawan Srinath speaks to Joe Agan from Nelnet International, where they discuss how the pandemic has affected the edtech sector and its evolution. Another episode has Varun Digirala talking to Ross Simons from Big Ant Studios about the gaming ecosystem and how they envision translating a sport to a game. And with that, let me get you back to your show.
Hello, welcome to the penultimate episode of Football Total for the season, because I've already informed our IVM guys that next week is going to be the last episode, and then like till 1 week before the season starts, we're off. So the season is going to end with England versus Italy. Yash,
yeah,
are they the two best teams of the tournament and they deserve to be in the final?
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't think of another team. I mean, Spain, as we mentioned earlier, picked up momentum later. Belgium flattered to deceive, and all those group of dead teams just died in the round of 16. Right. So we had an enthusiastic Denmark team who had a spectacular comeback after Eriksen's coming back to life. But that's
on that thing. I was reading an article where basically it seems to Denmark were so missed Eriksen that Højbjerg on the seat next to him is always empty, and that's like Eriksen's and things like that.
But did you read that article? I mean, the news report where UEFA has given Eriksen, the medical staff who treated him, tickets for the final or something.
Really?
Yeah, it was either the final, which is going to be a very sad match for Eriksen to watch now, watching England play at Wembley and probably win it.
Yeah.
When he could have been, or his country could have been there. But anyway, yeah, so he and the medical team that treated him, saved his life, they got tickets from UEFA.
इंडिया में पेट्रोल पंप का ओनरशिप दिला देते भाई.
Dude.
ये तो चीट में निकल गया ये आदमी.
Shahid Christian Eriksen petrol pump.
DYSP बना देते उसको पट्टी.
DYC कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग हो जाता है. Oh God! If someone just like listens to this podcast for like these 30 seconds, they're like, "Kya? What happened? Where was I when all this happened?" Okay, let's talk. Who's going to win the game, Yash?
I think I mean the game is at Wembley. It's fully set up for England to win. I think.
So even you think
in
Italy,
every position, almost in every position, apart from Jorginho's, England are better. So I think England are going to take it, man. They're gonna. It's going to be a horrible game, and England are probably going to cheat again to win it. But it's going to come.
It's going to be a Hoiberg game.
Yeah, it doesn't change the meaning.
Oh God, man! Will Gareth Southgate become like the new Alf Ramsey sort of thing, like the greatest manager ever England's had, Baru?
No.
Thank you for that answer.
I'm going to Goran Eriksson for having such an amazing surname.
Ericsson, oh God.
My first mobile was an Ericsson, so it's always going to be a special place in my heart.
Really? Okay. Oh, what do you make of this? What? Abhay Baru, we can't hear you.
I said, what about you? Who do you think is going to win?
Italy, man. It's going to be 3-2. A high scoring, as Ravi Shastri calls it, humdinger. It's going to be a humdinger. And 114th minute, Italy is going to score the winner.
Donnarumma.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fun to see.
Oh, Donnarumma kicks it, and that will be the time for Pickford to have his one big mistake.
But yeah, Donnarumma is, I mean, so much better than Pickford. Some of the saves he's pulled off were amazing.
Oh, did you see Kasper Schmeichel's save? I don't know. I mean, people went on about, oh, what a save Kasper Schmeichel had. He was just standing. The ball hit
The
him.
mid-ref one, right? Yeah, I think the one from Harry Kane's header was better.
Yeah, that was such a
That
good
one was a good.
All right. So the last thing is, a lot of wokeism is going on these days. And one of the things was that England fans were like chanting, "It's coming home," during the Italy versus Spain game. And the Italian and Spanish fans were booing. So there were some righteous journalists of English media. He's like, this is so disrespectful. How can we, the fans, chant "It's coming home" while watching a game? Like, yes.
It's okay, man. I mean, people boo national anthems and people taking a knee against racism and all that. So booing a pop song from the 90s is not that big of a deal.
No, I'm not talking about the booing. I'm talking about the English journalists saying, oh, it is just like, why are we singing "It's coming home" when our own people are going to watch?
Oh yeah, but what can you do? Pandemic. So I think people were not allowed to travel to Wembley. And I mean, if you're going to watch a match, even if you're a local in London, I'm sure this was a good match to watch. So yeah, some shithousery. I think all this grandstanding doesn't make sense.
All right. And the last question, Baru, is Baichung Bhutia made a point yesterday that Harry Kane dives more than Neymar. So why do people make fun of Neymar? And I said a friend of ours pointed out on WhatsApp, and then I went and saw that again. So do you think Harry Kane dives more than Neymar? And that is going to be a key factor, a key moment, as they call it.
Neymar and what, do we have any stats which tell us like
who dives more?
Dives per minute? Because I think we had a stat for.
But I know a friend of ours who would tell you net dives per minute. All right. Predictions. Yes.
I hope Neymar dives in the Copa American final to win it for Brazil, man. Just for the Messi fan meltdown.
I know. I mean, I love Neymar. He's my favorite footballer. But I think Messi ko to jeetna hi padega just to get the Mickey off his back.
Dude, it doesn't.
Unless people zabardasti get Penaldo into like the conversation. So yeah, whatever.
Who said that? I just hope Argentina finally win so that we stop having Copa Americas every year.
Oh man.
Oh shit. If they lose it this time, har 6 mahina lagega Copa.
Until Messi wins.
Yeah. All right. Predictions. Wait, is Copa final Brazil versus Chile? Brazil versus Argentina, right?
Yeah, dude.
All right. So give me predictions for both. Yash, first Euro final.
So Euro final is gonna be extra time penalty 1-0 England.
Penalty 1-0. Extra time penalty.
It's gonna be a dive by Kane and he's gonna score on the rebound or something. It's gonna be pretty bad. And Copa America is gonna be like a 4-3 thriller.
Dude, should we?
And there are gonna be like 3-4
Monday early morning to watch that game.
Yeah. It's totally gonna be like that. The Copa America is gonna be good, and all the hipsters are gonna say, "Arey, no, that was a better competition."
hipsters who wake up at 5 a.m. or something. Yeah, I think Italy's going to win like 2-0 or something, man. For the extra time.
Damn.
So what about Harry Kane dive?
He'll dive anyway.
And he'll still lose 2-0. That is so sad. And the Copa final, Baru, will Messi take it home?
Yes, Messi is going to take it Tala Mason or whatever they call French. Casa.
Casa.
Man, he's taking it home.
No way. I think Italy is going to win 2-1 in extra time.
I'm glad you said that because I was expecting you to say I think Italy is going to win the Copa or something.
Oh God, no.
You can check how many net Italians each team has.
Oh, if Jorginho wins the Euro and Brazil win the Copa, will he get 2 trophies?
Yeah.
Dude, that is Ballon d'Or. Ballon d'Or. And I think Copa is going to be 1-0 Brazil. They'll just give a goal to Messi. Like Neymar will Zabardasti pass a ball to Messi. Go, my friend, go well. So yeah, that's it. All right, guys. Next week we need to discuss the final. And if you're awake for the Copa final, we'll talk about that. And our player of the tournament and all of that jazz and wrap up the show for the season. So Yash and Baru, adios.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Take care.
पेश खिदमत है आपकी शान में हमारे अंजुमन से. हाय, आई एम सदफ
एंड आई एम अर्शिद. खाने का इतिहास, इकोनॉमिक्स, पॉलिसी, साइकोलॉजी सब है मेन्यू पे.
ओनली ऑन द नानकारी पॉडकास्ट एवरी वेडनेसडे, सिर्फ IVM पॉडकास्ट ऐप या वेबसाइट पर, या फिर जहां से भी आप अपने पॉडकास्ट सुनते हो.
Feeling overwhelmed, anxious, struggling with too many obstacles, don't know where your life is headed? Well, if you are dealing with one or all of these, tune into the Positively Unlimited podcast, because in each episode, I share a life lesson, a life hack, a pro tip that can help you get your life back on track. All episodes are available on the IBM website, IBM Podcast app, or wherever it is that you get your podcast from.